video is going to be a little bit chopped up because we're building this engine after hours, so we only have, you know, a few hours a day to put it together. So the video is going to be chopped up. I'm going to be wearing different shirts. There's going to be, you know, a little bit different stuff going on, but you guys get the principle of what's going on. We're putting together the highest horsepower 4JJ1 engine in the United States for Parker Mitchell's Gatortail Thailand Riverboat. So that's, you know, that's the gist of what we're doing. We already have the pistons in the engine. Now we are going to start torquing everything down, the crank, rods, and then we're gonna, you know, start assembling the rest of it. There's not a lot of, I guess, interesting stuff per se happening besides us just putting together the engine. So there's gonna be quite a bit of time lapse in the video. So yeah, the other reason why we're doing this video in segments is because we are waiting on information from the other side of the world. So like torque specs, for instance, like we don't know the torque specs of the main caps. We don't know the torque specs of the rod, you know, the rods. We don't know the torque specs of the head bolts. So, you know, as I've sent them a list, they've gotten a lot of it back to me, but obviously as we're working through this stuff, we have to ask those questions and they might be sleeping or busy doing other things. So like these bolts right here, no idea what to go to. Those bolts, no idea what to go to. Obviously those are the piston oil squirters. We know what those are. I've kind of sorted the bolts, but again, these ones don't know what to go to. So we are, you know, figuring out as we go. That's why the video's a little bit chopped up, okay? So bear with us. I promise you the content that's gonna come from this engine is gonna be, you know, rock solid. So anyways, let's go get the valve cover off the head and see what's going on under there. All right, so next we are going to put the oil So here we have the rods. The pistons are all coated, new coating on them, because when we got them over from Thailand, they were a little rough. The sides were a little rough. I'll see if I can find some pictures to put in the video right here, but we got them all freshly coated. The wrist pins, we didn't do anything with them, and then we ordered all brand new bearings and piston rings from Thailand. So yep, this is the rotating assembly. We didn't change any of the main bearings because those seem to be all right, so we have those. Here's the old piston rings. We're not going to use those, but yeah. So here's the rotating assembly, the rear main seal there. There's that. So again, brand new coating on the pistons. Yeah, so the pistons, they have a star on them.
Yeah.
Or a triangle, but I don't know which way that's supposed to go. So
did we take pictures of it on this?
No.
You didn't? Okay. No, I can lay the crank out, figure it out.
But how do we know which way this is supposed to go?
No, that goes to the front.
Oh, to the front of the engine?
Front of the engine, yeah.
Gotcha.
And the piston squirters go in here, so
gotcha.
I know that part.
Okay.
Yep. Alrighty.
Perfect.
Yeah, get the bolts.
I'll go get the bolts. All right, so I had to run to the store and get some bolts. These bolts right here, because normally here at Wagler Competition, they build like big Duramax engines like these ones, or billet, you know, engine over there, Duramax engines. We don't really deal with stuff this small, 4 cylinders. So I had to go to the store and get new bolts, and a lot of that stuff is standard. These are metric, so I had to go get metric bolts. Anyways, I got it on the engine stand now. But while I was gone, Jeremy got the pistons put on the rods there. So now you guys can see the piston rod set up there. So yeah. So also, for the people that don't know, we coat all the top of the pistons with a ceramic coating to help with the heat in diesel engines. So, well, they do it in gas engines also quite a bit, but that's what that coating is. It's for to displace the heat. So anyways, that's that. Got a little bit of assembly lube on there. Here's the main bearings. We're gonna get put back in the crank. Actually over there polishing the crank right now, so let's head on over there and look at that process. There's gonna be quite a bit of time lapse in this video, because we're assembling an engine, so there's not a lot of interesting things that, you know, general public would like to see, but we'll do a time lapse here and there. And I'm kind of dressed in a cutoff shirt today because it's hot outside, and so anyways, long story short is let's head on over and get the crank polished up and balanced and brought her back over here. Alrighty, so we've kind of taken over the lunchroom here. That's the head, front cover, injection lines, miscellaneous stuff. There's the alternator, head gasket, another head gasket, front cover. This is an intake gasket. Then we go over here, the lower oil pan and oil. Here's the lower oil pan, turbo, manifold, wastegate, bucket of bolts, another bucket of bolts, oil cooler, timing chain. Yeah, so here's your intake. So we have it all laid out. That's the best way to do an assembly like this, is just lay everything out so you know what you got, and then just start putting it together. Time lapse start now. All right, now that we have everything laid out, let's start the assembly process. We have already kind of started putting the pistons and the rods together. Here's that for you. Obviously the rod. There's the brand new coated pistons. Here's our main bearings. These are our rod bearings, piston ring setup. Got my torque specs down here. So yeah, got the engine on the engine stand. I'm waiting to see what the main cap torque specs are. So I'm waiting for the guys over in Thailand to wake up, tell me what that is. But other than that, we got everything laid out. We got the engine on the engine stand. We got our rods and pistons put together. So let's go over and polish the crank a little bit and balance it and put it together. All right, now that we have everything all laid out, everything is accounted for, now it's time to go through the assembly process. So we have the engine on the engine stand. Got it all blown out. While I was at the store, Jeremy got the pistons and everything put back together. Pistons and rods. We got them coated. That's a ceramic coating to help displace the heat. We got all new piston rings, rod bearings, our main caps there. Got new, not new, we're gonna reuse these ones. main bearings, they weren't too bad. But other than that, we got everything all cleaned up. Our engine's all ready. So we're gonna drop the crank in there and start tightening her down. One thing with this engine, in this video there's gonna be a lot of time lapse because there's just not a lot of like entertaining content. So we're not gonna go over every single spec. A lot of this is gonna be a time lapse, but it's gonna be a fun time lapse, so don't click away, all right? Appreciate you guys following along, and let's get back at it. One thing that's kind of funny is they sent us a bucket of bolts. They didn't describe where everything went, so we gotta sift through these bolts and find this bolt, that bolt, that bolt, that bolt. So yeah, this will be a fun project. It's kind of like an IKEA deal. Or the valve cover taken off of this. just to kind of see what we're working with underneath it here. And again, we don't really know, which order this goes in. Well, we're giving it our honest effort, obviously, but it's trial and error with their educated help, which they are 12 hours ahead of us. So I'm gonna speed it up right now so you guys don't need to watch me take out all these bolts. So speed up. Crank and the, hey, there you guys are. Huh. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get the crank and the rods torqued down and then start putting the lower oil pan on. So the crank will be torqued to 118 foot-pounds of torque. So let's go ahead and start torquing that down. And I like to start from the center and work my way out. And just for purposes, I've already torqued them to 190, so I'm just finaling the final torque. So I usually torque them in increments, either like 2 increments or 3 increments, depending on how far I need to torque them. But these are only torqued to 119, so I'm only going to do 2 increments. Let's see where they're currently at, zeroing out. It's not a lot. Doesn't feel like a lot. But we're also used to doing big diesel stuff, so. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one since this one's already up. Okay, now I'm going to spin it and do the other two. We had some pliers. Not the best way to go about this, but there we go. Now we got the other two up. Double check our stuff. Okay. Let's see if I can get. Now I always go back and double check all the stuff, so. Now I'm not even gripping this hard, I'm just using the keyway to turn it. So don't worry, not scoring it up. Okay. So I would say we got the bottom end all torqued down according to their specs. So we will put the lower oil pan on and go from there. sent us a bucket of bolts. So I gotta go through these bolts and figure out which ones go where. This one's really long. Huh. What's up, Nova?